Suicide is the second leading cause of death for children and teens 10 to 24 years old, according to the article in People magazine. Suicide is a topic that is difficult to discuss, but is a major issue with teens and young adults. 13 Reasons Why is a show on Netflix with themes of suicide, rape, and mental illness. This popular teen drama has been very controversial since it came out on Netflix in March of 2017. As said by Entertainment Weekly, 3 weeks after the show's release, it has become the most tweeted about TV series of 2017, with 11 million tweets. It's gotten attention for its dark themes, performances, and even the music. Everything about this show has gotten massive attention, causing it to be a huge hit for Netflix. But along with the attention comes criticism. As popular as the show is among young viewers, the way that it confronts these issues is just as intensely debated. Does it glamorize suicide? Is it too graphic? Or should it be praised for its willingness to shake up audiences and start an honest conversation? Today I'm going to share my views on 13 Reasons Why and why I think that the show has both a positive and negative effect on teen suicide. First, I'm going to give you a little background of the show. Then I'd like to break down the show and point out the good and the bad scenes of the show. Last, I'll go over what I think overall the writers of the show could have done differently to make the show have a more positive impact on suicide. Season 1 of 13 Reasons Why is about a girl in high school named Hannah Baker that goes through many difficult events such as cyberbullying, sexual assault, and betrayal by her friend group. After all of this, she decides the only option is to end her life and leave behind 13 tapes explaining her decision. These tapes are passed around to the 13 people that were involved in the ending of her life. Each tape points out a particular person's impact on her life and the role in her suicide, which leaves the students to blame each other. This causes conflict with the students and creates more bullying and tension throughout the show. Season 2 deals with the aftermath of Hannah's suicide. Hannah Baker's mom decides to take the case to court and sue the school due to negligence on the part of the school. Throughout this process, each of the students are called to testify by the court, but because of the threats from other students, nobody is willing to speak the truth when asked to testify. Now I want to break down the specific scenes and give you my take on them and what is good or bad about them. There are several scenes that show graphic images in the show, but most specifically is the scene where Hannah commits her suicide. During the scene, it shows her getting in the bathtub and slitting her wrist. It shows her dying in the tub filling up with blood. At the end of the scene, it shows her mom discovering her daughter in the tub, and she's dead. According to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, they recommend shows to not describe the suicide method, use dramatic or graphic images, or have extensive coverage that glamorizes a death because it increases the risk of copycat suicides. It also suggests to avoid photos and videos of the location or methods of suicide, grieving family, friends, memorials, or funerals, which this show does many times throughout the series. Another scene I'd like to mention is right before Hannah decides to kill herself, she goes to the counselor to get help after she was raped by another student at a party. Since Hannah wasn't willing to give a name or any details about the incident, he suggests that there's nothing he can do and she should try to let it go and move on. I feel like this shows that even if you try to reach out and get help, nobody will believe you or take you seriously enough to do anything, which isn't true. The show suggests that getting help from counselors or peers is pointless, and it portrays it as if she has no other option. Not once did it mention mental illness or show anyone helping or treating Hannah. The audience is made to believe that Hannah has to go through this on our own. The last thing I want to discuss is why Hannah left the tapes for the 13 people in the first place. I believe she left those tapes to get revenge on the 13 people that had an impact on her life and the choice that she made. They will never be able to apologize or take back the things they did. It seems like the perfect way to leave your mark. The show makes suicide out to be a vengeful way to get back at people that hurt you. It makes it seem like the only way people are going to listen is if you do something dramatic like suicide. It causes her death to appear very simplistic by blaming others for her suicide and not mentioning other factors that might have contributed, such as mental illness. Overall, I think the show has a potential to have a good message, but it is lost in the plot by all the petty drama and unrealistic characters. The show focuses too much on blaming others and doesn't focus on other factors like mental illness and substance abuse, which is the cause of 90% of suicides. It also suggests that to the audience that if you reach out for help, nobody will believe you or take you seriously enough to do anything about it. Although I don't agree with the plot of the show, I do believe it created a conversation that needed to be addressed. In an interview by Variety magazine, they talked with Catherine Langford, the actress of Hannah Baker. She states, "You need there to be opinions in order for there to be discussions." And that's really what the show is about. Talking about issues that are taboo or that people wouldn't normally discuss with parents or teachers. Because this show has been so controversial, it has started conversations about suicide and how we should deal with the issue with ourselves or others. So I do believe this show has a positive impact as well. If you take anything from this speech, whether you love or hate the show, it does have an impact on society, and that's all that matters.